Alright, what up everyone? In this video we're going to talk about comprehensions, which are another way in Elixir to loop over stuff, to loop through enumerables. So you can use either enum map or stream map or whatever, but there's certain things you can do with performance-wise. Enum and stream are probably better with comprehensions. There's probably a couple things that you can do, like multiple nested comprehensions, but let's just go through the basics. So comprehension is basically just a way to loop, and it has the word for in it, and it has this thing called a generator, which is basically the expression that you find that generates the next value. I think that's how Elixir would define it. So it'd look something like for x, and then you use this cool little operator here. Whoops, looks like that. And then you give it some sort of enumerable. So you can just say, I don't know, let's just say list here. So then we'll just create something called a list, and we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 3, 1, 2, 34, and 5, right? And then after that, you can say what you want it to do with x. And then let's just do x times, whoops, if I could type here, x times x, right? So fairly straightforward. You got your generator, loops through the list, and it does something to it, right? Really straightforward. Let's just type that out here. So list equals 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 34, and it puts that out, and then I'll just loop through it through x through the list, and do, what do you want to do? We'll just multiply x by x, right? X times x, and there you go. It multiplies each by itself. Whoops, I got out of my console here, so let's just do it again. IEX, let's just go into IEX, clear this. So it's important to remember that for loops, or excuse me, comprehensions don't only work with lists. You can do them with any data structure that can be looped over. So let's just do it with something like a keyword list, right? So we'll say people, or let's just say hair color, and we'll give it a couple things. We'll say John has brown, and Mary she's got green hair. She's wild one, that Mary chick. So cool. So now what we can do is loop through and essentially get back whatever we want, right? So let's like return these people's hair color. So we'll say for, and we'll put it in a tuple, and we'll say we don't need this. You can use this operator when you don't want that one, when you don't want that variable. And then we can just say for, and here we'll put hair, and we'll close that. And remember, we gotta loop through it with this special operator. All these typos, I'm sorry. And we'll say in hair color, which is our enumerable, do, and let's just put the hair, right? So we should get back brown and green. There you go, right? Pretty simple. We can do interesting stuff like use pattern matching to return only the item that we want. So we can say something like for, and here we're gonna say John. Oh, we don't like John. We want Mary's hair because it's green, right? And then hair, and we'll do the same thing here. Hair color, do, IO. Hope this is big enough for you guys. Puts, and hair. So we're only gonna get Mary's, right? Because this atom has to match. It's pattern matching, right? There we go. We get Mary's hair back, which was green, right? Pretty straightforward. Like we mentioned before, you can combine generators and use a couple of them, so it would sort of be like a nested loop. So a lot of people, the classical example for something like this is to show like a deck of cards, but let's just keep it basic. So we'll just say something like I don't know, first, we'll just create a couple lists. First is going to have 1, 2, and 3, and second is going to have I don't know, 3, 2, actually that'll be confusing. Let's say 7, 8, 9, right? And I know that doesn't make a lot of sense right now. Whoa, what just happened there? Second. Huh. Let's try something else. Let's do second equals 5, 6, 7. Okay, and then we can do something like we can loop through both of them, right? And combine them into, like, I don't know, like a list of tuples. So we'll loop through, we'll say for x, and get our generator here for x in first. And I like to think of this as the in. So for x, each one in this enumerable, do whatever, and then we're going to say y in second, notice here how we rebound or reassign this variable. It can be rebound. In Erlang, you can't do that. Do, and we'll just do x and y, right? So it'll go over x, the first in x, and then match it with the first in y, and then that'll have like a little tuple, a two item tuple, and it'll keep doing that. So here's what you get. You get 1 in 5, you get 1 in 6, 1 in 7, and then it starts all over with 2. So you'll see this example with a deck of cards used a lot. For the sake of keeping this video short, we're not going to do that. So let's filter here. So let me clear this. And if we have something like, shit, I don't know, names. Not good at coming up with examples. So we'll say names, and we're going to have Ichabod. That's a cool name. And then John. That's another cool name. And what's a weird name? I don't know. Let's just keep it simple here. We'll say Joseph. Joseph is a fairly common name, right? So names, cool. And what we can do now is use a filter to basically what a filter basically does is it's a condition, and if the condition matches, the new list that returns only returns what the condition stated. So you know, in the context of a comprehension, you would do something like for x, or let's do for name, and we're going to need this in thing in names. So for each in the names, we're going to use like a built-in function. We'll use is Adam. Whoops. And the name. So the Adam, or the name, has to be an Adam. So you got your generator, and then your filter, and then whatever you want to happen. So we'll just do we'll just return the name, right? So it's only going to give me back the name, the names that are in Adam. So as you can see, Ichabod and Joseph. Pretty simple, right? So you got your generator, your filter, and whatever you wanna do to each item. Fairly simple, and of course you can create your own function here that acts as a filter that, you know, filters in whichever way you can think of. So that's comprehensions, and pretty straightforward, right? Nothing too difficult. You know, if you're used to loops, you know, you may have to get used to the new syntax and the fact that you're using pattern matching, etc. But, you know, pretty straightforward. I hope this helped out. Remember, you can nest them. You can do all kinds of stuff with comprehensions, which is why they exist. It's not just syntactic sugar. Although for a lot of the stuff that you might want to do, you can use map or something else. But good to have comprehensions in your arsenal. So hope that helped, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.
Bet all of the riches that I ever had. Rushing the night like a shark, babe, would it be bad if I had to sit the line? Cause the thrills that run up my back, you must tie, nothing else can leave me off track.